Hey guys, it's Health Coach Shalyn, and I am here today to kick off a wonderful series that I am starting on my YouTube channel. It's all in regards to the release of my new book, which is called Take Me Off the Wait List. And it's dealing with having a practical approach to losing weight and keeping the weight off. And so what I want to do with this series is to take you through my book chapter by chapter, talking to you about the different concepts and practical things that can help you take yourself off the wait list. So my journey is all throughout this book, telling you what worked, talking about things that didn't work. You'll find in this book is talking about your mindset, having positive affirmations, talking about how you can take yourself from a place of potential unhealth to a place of good health. Taking yourself from addictions to no addictions. And when I'm talking about addictions, I'm talking about food addictions. A lot of people laugh when I say this next statement, but let me tell you, I am a former potato chip addict. I know that sounds crazy. I know it's something that you probably never even thought of before, but let me tell you, it is something that is real because I lived through it. I ate potato chips when I was happy. I ate potato chips when I was sad. I ate potato chips when I was angry. No matter what was going on, I always had me a bag of potato chips. And so I talk about that in this book. I talk about how I was able to break through that addiction. I talk about how I was able to find a place of good health. So let me tell you some other things that you will find in this book. I talk about how you can use biblical principles, yes, biblical principles, to find out what is the best way to take care of your temple. If you know anything about me, I am a devoted Christian. I love the Lord. My life has been changed because of my relationship with the Lord. But not only just the path that I was living, but the health that I was chasing after was not the best. And so I dug deep into my Bible and I found 21 scriptures, references on how I can best take care of my temple. But I'm getting a little too excited. That's a different chapter, so we won't start there. But let me start off at the very beginning. Let me tell you that the beginning of my journey really dealt with the poor health that I put myself in. I ate myself to unhealth. It all boiled down to my doctor telling me, Shalyn, you're only 5 foot. I know you're surprised by that, but I'm only 5 foot. But she went on to say, you're only 5 foot. You talk about how you're out of breath when you go up and down the stairs in your house. Your blood work. Now, these are all the things that my doctor was telling me. Your blood work shows that you have high cholesterol. Your white blood cells are all off track. And you are anemic. Well, how about a report like that from your doctor? A lot of people go back and forth with, the opinions of doctors. Me personally, I have a great relationship with my doctor. I trust her, And plus the numbers that she showed me, the report that she showed me was from my body. It's not something that was fabricated. So I knew at that point that I had to make some changes and fast. Not just for me, but for my husband and for our sons. And if you know anything about me, I'm a visionary. I have goals, dreams. I'm always trying to make positive changes in people's lives. I couldn't have done that with running out of breath or having high cholesterol and needing to go on pills. And that's something that I talk about in this book too, about making changes now before you get sick. So let me slow down just a little bit because I'm getting kind of excited here. But, we had this conversation with my doctor. She gave me this report. And then I agreed with her. I've got to make some changes. And so I come from a place of, being a yo-yo dieter. I come from a place of, I'm gonna make these changes to no, I'm not, to I'm gonna make these changes to no, I'm not. But I had to make those changes. So the beginning of this book, which is what I want to talk about, my book, the beginning of it deals with the introductory. So let's get into that. I want to talk about how the introduction of the book is my story. So I just gave you a small snippet of, what ended up being the thing that made me change. I want to talk about just a little bit of the history on the different stages that I went through before I got to the place of unhealth. Okay. So, growing up as a young woman, I never really weighed a lot. I was never really overweight. That wasn't something that was unique to me. I was thin, fairly bony, thin little big-eyed girl, and my life really didn't start changing until I would say my college years after I graduated from college, because came home from school, was responsible for buying my food and different things, and I came from humble means. I didn't come from a family that we had tens of thousands of dollars and stored up in the bank. And I'm proud of my heritage. And so what I started doing is I learned to be frugal. What I started doing is when I got money, and I knew that there was things to buy, I went to the store and I would buy me some Jiffy cornbread. Now before you go too far, it's okay to laugh. It's okay to think this is funny. This is my life, because it is a little funny, but it's true. It's real. So I would take my dollar. I used to be able to get 3 boxes for $1. And I'm telling you, I made that Jiffy cornbread stretch. It was for lunch, it was for dinner, and then I turn around and have what was left over, and I would put some warm milk with it in the morning, and it would be my breakfast. I was frugal, but at the same time, what I was not focused on and not realizing is that I was making myself addicted to carbs. Yes, and I want to read something to you. I wanted to break down for you just how Jiffy became so much a part of me. Just listen to this. I talk about how Jiffy, okay, then turned into my everything for at least a solid year after I graduated from college. I know that sounds funny, but I ate more Jiffy than I really care to admit. I always had a fresh loaf on hand. And as I just mentioned, I even would have Jiffy for breakfast. I would crumble it up, and it was just that. It was some. That's the thing. That's the thing when you have an addiction. It can be the smell of something. It can be that rush. It can be that adrenaline, and that's what Jiffy did for me. When I smelled it, it's like my insides was ready and prone to it, and that's the sign of going too far. So as I was eating that Jiffy, as I mentioned, I was picking up weight. I was still in my mid-20s. I was starting to pick up weight. And shortly after college, my husband and I got married, and we quickly became pregnant. And for some reason, I was not adequately prepared with expecting to gain weight. And I'm going to tell you, my life changed because it was the first time in my life that I was actually over 100 pounds when I became pregnant with our first son. And I'm telling you, when we first got married, I was about 100, I would say, just a little bit over 100. But when I was first pregnant, it was 116 pounds, and I blossomed all the way up to 165 pounds. Now, let me validate that. As a health coach, I'm not chasing numbers. I'm not trying to help people get into a size 0, trying to get ready for 20th, high school reunion. I'm not chasing those different things. I am chasing health. The reason why I have numbers in my book is so that you can validate and you can go along with my story, that you can understand where I'm coming from and why, for me in my journey, that this was a struggle for me. I had never weighed 165 pounds before. It threw me into so many different things. I just had to deal with even the emotion of what it felt like. I could feel the changes in my body. And so I went on to talk about, in the book, I talk about how, our second son, we decided to have our second son, and the same thing happened. I gained weight. It seems like I would have learned some things from the first time, but I still gained weight. And so after we only have the two boys, and after they were born and we decided that we were done, we didn't want to have any more children, I was left with all this extra weight. And that was, as I mentioned, something that really, I really just struggled with. I was freaking out. Let's just say I was freaking out. And so if you know anything about me, I love to go to the library. So I was at the library one day and I happened across a vegetable book. Oh, I love to cook, grew up with a mom that loved to cook. Our family, we loved to cook. And so it was not uncommon for me to be in the library, looking for cookbooks. So I happened upon a cookbook that was a vegetable cookbook. Lo and behold, it was a vegetarian cookbook. Oh, and my wheels started to turn. And before I knew it, I was an ovo-lacto vegetarian. And so that lasted for a while, and I did lose some weight, but I was not a healthy vegetarian, With cutting out meat, it really did cut out a good portion of protein for me. And over time, my doctor started to notice that I was starting to lose muscle mass. And that was because, I didn't like beans, all the different things that I should have been eating and should have been a normal part of my regimen. I couldn't do it. I didn't even like the effect of beans, if you know what I mean. So anyway, so I went on with that journey for a little while, and I would have to say, I got to a place in my life when my doctor started, I took these tests and we found out that I really was not in good health. That my cholesterol was up, I was anemic, I was out of breath going up and down the stairs, all these different things. And it was time for me to make a decision. So I took my choices and my options, and I was ready to make some changes, and I took it to the internet. So I started creating small challenges for my friends, because I figured that I couldn't have been the only one that was struggling, with making changes in my life. And so I made up some different challenges, and we followed through those challenges, and I realized that I started helping other people lose weight. We all started becoming healthy. And it was, my mindset started to change. I was still kind of dipping and dabbing a little bit into yo-yo dieting, but my mindset started to change. And so to put that in perspective, then I got the poor report from my doctor, and then that finally did it. That finally did it. I said, enough is enough. And I've got to make these changes in my life before I make some permanent damages to myself. And so I now have, as you know, my certification as a nutritional coach. I am working on completing the studies to become a personal trainer. And I'm excited. I'm excited to be able to take my journey, put it with the education to give me the extra educational backdrop that I need, and to help you. I'm no different than anybody else. That I'm not a superhuman. I am a woman that has been through things. I'm a woman that has matured to understand how important it is to be in control of the food that I put into my mouth. Let me read to you the last paragraph in chapter 1. Okay? In plain, everyday language, Take Me Off the Wait List can help you change your behaviors and mindset to lose weight. It will help you realize that you can lose weight and keep it off. As you read this book, you will discover that you have everything you need to lose weight and live a healthy, consistent lifestyle. Everything is lying dormant inside of you. Through my personal journey and practical steps, you will be motivated to rid yourself of all the things that have been holding you back. You will no longer categorize yourself as someone who is trying to lose weight. You will be known as someone who did lose weight. You will be able to finally say, "Take me off the wait list." I invite you to jump on Amazon and purchase your copy of my book, Take Me Off the Wait List. You won't feel as if I'm speaking down to you. You won't feel as if your struggles and different things that you have been through is only unique to you. You will learn things that will help you. You will learn concepts that will change your mindset into realizing that you can be healthy and that good health is for you. The book is available, as I mentioned, on Amazon in paperback and also as an ebook. So I will drop a link for you into the comments below, in the description below. I invite you to even gift this book to someone that you know that can also be encouraged to reach the journey that they've been trying to reach. So this is all that I will go through for the first chapter of my book. And this is Health Coach Shalyn signing off. And until I see you when we talk about the next chapter, I love you guys so much. Have a great day. And thanks for watching. Bye.